Hi, my name is Paige Rutkowski. This is SAFMED's check-in number 1 for SPCE 638 Field-Based Experience. It is June 1st at 8 p.m. Alright. I have my 1-minute timer right here. And it will be time. Pass. Habit reversal. Pass. Current chain designs. Allocation of response. Two choice of pass. Matching law. Potential reinforcers. Something generalization. Pass. Mediate, generalize. Reasons not to supervise. Negative outcomes associated with failure to provide supervision. Enforcement generalization when it happens. Pass. Train to generalize. Time. What was the point to access alternative behavior. Positive outcomes for supervisor. Yep. Okay. Punishment that requires of others. Socially mediated punishment. This is your reinforcement in which the response becomes. Chain schedules. Something. Train multiple exemplars. Train sufficient exemplars. Pass. Schedule timing. Single word of group description phrases. Condition labels. Terminal goals should reflect it. Pass. Then reinforcement. A two-dimensional semi-logarithmic chart. Provide clear guidelines for the members to follow and deciding the course of preparation. Supervision contract. Ethical codes of behavior. Stimulus change that functions as reinforcement. Pass. A primary unconditioned reinforcer. Prescribes communication through speech of verbal operants, local verbal. State, provincial, or national government document that is established by law and specifies the privileges and limits of professional practice. Pass. License. Schedule of reinforcement in which response requirements of 2 or more basic schedules must be met in a specific sequence before reinforcement is established. Quality each schedule. Pass. Chain schedule. Vertical line drawn upward from the the y-axis. Vertical axis. Brief description of the dimension represented and scaled along each axis. The pass. Axis labels. Antecedent interventions that provide non-contingent access to preferred sources of reinforcement. Differential reinforcement. Environmental enrichment. Teach reacts to occur in all settings. Response generalization. Sequential modification. Environment in which something occurs. A setting. Might include a child learning curves, words. Inappropriate modeling. Unplanned models. Provides physical assistance on need by having the instructor move closer and now provide more pass. Graduated guidance. Stimulus change that follows a behavior of interest. The consequence. Difference between the cost of a treatment and the treatment of the cost-benefit ratio. Written guidelines that provide direction for conducting the practices associated with prevention. Pass. Professional standards. An emotional reaction of anger or frustration, including operant behavior which injures or otherwise adverse to the controller. monitor, control. Assessment method that includes gathering info via direct observation and manipulation of stimuli, including single stimulus per reinforcement, preference assessments. Consolidates, updates, and replaces the former BAC with professional, disciplinary, and ethical standards. The ethics code, PES, compliance code. Vertical line drawn upward from the horizontal. It's a change of what's it called? Pass. Condition change line. Yep, that's what I thought. Initial assessment of supervisee is critical for establishing clear goals for supervision. Pass. Supervisee initial assessment. Scheduled reinforcement in which two or more contingent of reinforcement operate independently and simultaneously for two or more behaviors. Concurrent schedule. Behavior analysts are required to respect intellectual property laws by obtaining permission to use copyrighted trademark materials and providing proper citations or attributions to skills refrain from unlawfully obtaining or disclosing property information. Pass. Use of intellectual property. Skills are identified and sequence definitions for these skills that should be developed and mastery criteria defined. Pass. Supervisee goal setting. Adhere to documentation restriction. Participate in observations of rehearsals. Response professional feedback. Supervisee expectations. Teach behavior to occur with consequences, which are likely to happen in the natural environment. Consequence generalization. Introduce neutral maintaining consequences. When skills trained through BSD are tested in the natural environment to allow learners to practice reinforcement. In situ assessment. Designed to evoke a specific imitative response and may include teaching a child to say a word, brush your teeth, or point to a picture. Designed to evoke a specific plan models. A stimulus change that functions as a punisher and decreases the behavior that precedes the result. Revolution learning does not rely on previous ownership. Primary unconditional measures. Two-dimensional graph that shows relative distribution of individualized measures. Suggests that data points are not connected. It's a scatter plot. A variety of techniques for gradually transferring stimulus control with a minimum errors. Errorless learning. Covert events typically accessible only to the person experiencing them. Private thoughts, private behaviors. Statement describing corrective, disciplinary, modification accident in the circumstances of violation. Behavior contract, disciplinary standards. Straight horizontal line that represents the x-axis, the horizontal axis. Performance feedback to supervisees by the students related to supervision procedures. Pass. Upward evaluations, procedures in which a person compares her performance of a target behavior. Self-evaluation. Ability to understand and share the feelings of another. Empathy. Behavioral effect associated with abrupt increases in ratio requirements when moving. Pass. Ratio strain. Embrace the participants' values, expectations, traditions, or idea. Cultural match. Reinforcement that requires the involvement of others. Socially mediated reinforcement occurs when the most salient component of a compound stimulus engagement control responding interferes with the acquisition of social. Pass. Overshadowing. Describes behavior making noises or sounds without social mediation. Like an echoic. Vocal nonverbal. Scheduled reinforcement in which reinforcement is contingent on a response being different, self-specified way from the previous. Pass. Lag reinforcement. An observer who is unaware of the study's purpose in our experimental condition, the participant. Naive observer. An assessment method that includes gathering information from familiar parties, caregivers, teacher. Informal assessment, descriptive assessment, and direct reference assessment. Voluntary credentialing issued by a private organization that is authorized by members of the professional of the government. Pass. Professional certification. Thank you.